morning. My name is Liz Skinner. I'm an instructor here at the National STEM Academy at the Museum of Aviation in Warner Robins, Georgia. I'm going to show you just a really simple experiment. It's one of my favourites, and it's something that can be done in the classroom really easily or at home. It just takes things that most of us have kind of lying around. So the actual experiment is a chemical reaction experiment, and it's a great example of what we call a chemical change. And an easy way to explain that for your child or for your students is that a chemical change is any change that causes a new substance to be formed. And I've just listed a few examples that are really good examples to give the children so they can kind of get a grasp of understanding it. So burning wood, souring milk, mixing acid and base, which is what we're going to do today. Baking a cake is one of my favourites. You know, you put all those ingredients together, you pull it out of the oven, you cannot turn those ingredients back to eggs and flours and sugar and butter again. So baking a cake, cooking an egg. So these are all examples of what we call a chemical change. And this experiment is a chemical reaction. And these are the things that you would need to do this experiment. And most of us have these. So it's baking soda, vinegar, an empty bottle. I have a funnel, but you don't need a funnel. You can use a teaspoon, it works just as well. I always have paper towels because I tend to be messy. So the first thing you would do is obviously just take the lid off the water bottle. And the trickiest part of this experiment is getting the baking soda into the balloon. And I've kind of cheated and I've already done it. But it's fairly simple with a spoon. So you want to fill the balloon probably about a quarter of the way with baking soda. And then you can ask the children to pour some vinegar in the bottle. You can just have it in some little beakers or cups. And you need about 2/3 of the bottle with vinegar in it. So this is our acid. And I'm going to put a little bit more in because my beaker is a little bit small. So probably about 2/3 of the way. Need a little bit more than that. You want it so it bubbles over or bubbles up. So the whole point of this is that we're going to inflate the balloons. So let's go ahead and okay, that looks about right. So then, this is a hard part sometimes for smaller children that you might need to help them with. You have to open the entrance of the balloon and you have to stretch it, because you want a good seal, over the top of the bottle. Now don't be pouring any baking soda in yet. We're going to leave it kind of hanging down the sides, because the cool thing is we kind of count them down so we can do it all together in one big group. Or if you've just got one child, you can kind of count them down. So ask them to point, kind of pinch the end, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You go ahead and tip, and there we go. We've inflated our balloon. And the great extension to this little experiment is you can start talking about carbon dioxide, where we find it, what they know about it, and eventually the balloon will deflate. But as you can see, this one is really inflated really well. So this is a really cool, simple experiment of a chemical reaction and a chemical change. This is mixing acid and bases. Now, if you'd like to do this experiment, you can find the lesson plans on our Educators Resource page, which can be found on our website, museumofaviation.org, and we have many other lessons that you can reference to as well on that website.